Well, it's Friday. This is a very surreal day. Um, I think before anything, I just want to say I think it's time just to sit and reflect on all the souls that were lost on 9/11. It was just one of those days that you'll never forget. Watching all the footage of this catastrophe, this monstrous act take place on so many human beings. Uh, I don't know. It's like you want to keep trying to stay positive and uplifted, but when things like that are, you know, acknowledged, it's kind of hard to do it. Like I do we used to do a show every year called An American Celebration, and it was all about celebrating music, and we did it at the Ford Theater in Washington D.C. And you're sitting in this theater playing music, and then you look up, and there's the box that Lincoln was assassinated in, and you kind of go, Jesus, you'd almost think this place should have been torn down, but I mean, it's there to, you know, let people understand the history of what went on. There's a Lincoln museum in the basement. It has a pillow that his head was on that still has his blood on it. I mean, there's so many things. The gun that was used, but you're kind of in the middle of this. And every time 9/11 comes around, even though the Trade Center's gone, there's so many times you watch old movies and TV shows, and there it sits. And I remember going there many, many times when we'd play New York, and I'd gaze straight up the side of it and just be so, fascinated by the the facility and the abilities of architects to come up with things like this. I mean, it was just astounding to see those two edifices, there, and then to see what went on. And God knows there's still questions about what happened and stuff, but that's got nothing, at the end of the day, to do with all the lives that were lost. And at this moment, that really still is the tragedy, and all the families that are still suffering for their loss, and those that survive but have injuries that'll last them the rest of their lives. So my heart's out to all of those people, and to our country for what it went through during this period. It was really it's hard to fathom. It's just hard to fathom. But it was strange. I was doing an album project with a guy named Jeff Pryor when this all went down. We were several days into the project, and we were on our very last legs on the album when we went out into the lobby of the studio on a break, and it was on TV live going on, and we just kind of went, what's going on? And we sat down, and pretty much everybody was like glued to the TV for the rest of the day. And we just couldn't, it was surreal. It was like some bad, disaster movie. You just couldn't believe this was really going on. And especially the early footage when you actually saw people jumping from the buildings. And you just went, holy crap, what is going on here? And but when we made this album, I want to leave this on a slightly up note today. They filmed it, and Jeff made a documentary movie about the making of the album. And there's a whole bunch of people in this that you'll recognize, like Simon Phillips and David Paich and the group Venice and the late great fabulous Steve Bruton in here, Teresa James, all these people. So I found this video of it. So I think rather than do anything else, this is what we were doing. Just the moments, or the days before 9/11 and into 9/11. And it was a wonderful project. I just always listen back to this and I go, man, this is really great. The main singer on the stuff, Joey Bowen, his father is Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. And Joey's one badass singer. So it was a wonderful project that just suddenly at the end of it, it kind of sucked the air out of our lungs as we sat and watched all of this go down. But I just wanted to share the album with you and this video that they did. This was really a fun project, and it really leaves me feeling much better than I could imagine on a day like this. I think about it every year when this is acknowledged. It certainly is not celebrated, but it's acknowledged, because this is not the kind of a thing one celebrates. But your heart has to be with all of the souls, the people that were lost and the people that are still suffering from it. So here we go. This is the Jeff Pryor Project Band. So here we go.
And he makes his appearance, yeah.
I took a collection of songs I wrote. Some of the songs I wrote with Daniel Moore, some I wrote with Matthew Moore, and I went to Daniel Moore and I told him I'd like for you to produce a CD of these songs, and this time I'd like to use some of the best musicians in the world, and we used them. We used Leland Sklar on bass, David Page on keyboards, Stephen Bruton on guitar, Joey Bowen on vocals, and Simon Phillips on drums.
When you fall down, you get right back up again.
Yes, Stephen, when he was
Oh, yes you do. And when I'm away, I can't wait to be home again, where I remain somebody you can call on. There's no need to explain. I believe there ain't no
My influences were majorly Motown, because I grew up in Detroit. My biggest influences were definitely Marvin Gaye, number one. Definitely Stevie Wonder, definitely Donny Hathaway. Gospel later.
forever true. 1, 2.
As an engineer, to work with really great players, everybody's been complimenting me on the drum sounds. You get Simon Phillips and his kit, and you point some mic somewhere in the general direction of the drums, and it's going to sound great. You really have to work to screw that up.
If you get time just for one thing, you never give up on them big things. Things stop changing, and I got news for you, and it's good news too. I got my ticket to Malibu. Yeah, it's a dream come true. I got my ticket, yeah, I got my ticket to Malibu.
The thing I love about music is the community of musicians.
is what's really magical. The hang can be fabulous because it's a psychotic bunch of people. You wouldn't be in this business if you weren't some kind of a lunatic.
I remember the day that we met. I was feeling kind of blue. With one look you turned the key in my heart, babe. So come on through. But then I thought I could stand.
It's always great to meet new players, and especially if they're good. But what I really dig is, you see, these days, you just don't do sessions like this. This is like doing a session for me, in the 70s. And that's not to be derogatory at all. It's, you used to turn up to a date, you used to know some people, you didn't, but you go into the studio and there was at least 5 or 6 people playing.
Then I change it, then I go back and say, this love and live was really your fault, and I feel okay. Yeah, I got my love, damn boy. I got my love, damn boy. I got my love, damn boy. I got my love. Love me, then you got to go. L-I-M-B-O. You can be the wrong way to go. And all that was good is now bad, and it's out of control. All that I hear are the sounds of the echoes of the tough love and pride and the hurt. But deep down inside, there's a feeling that's gotta be heard.
When you have songwriters that are singer-songwriters that come from the basics, the blues, the Al Green, and the kind of Otis Redding field, it makes the songs real easy. Plus, playing with greats like Lee Sklar and Simon Phillips, it really fits comfortable here. It's like being in a group, in another kind of band, but everything's instantaneous. Like the first time we run things down, it's a keeper.
Cycles me to you. Raining love, raining love, raining love. What love, what a face, what a great personality. She took the whole. I know you're my friend, but the love is not right for me.
Now wait, I didn't think it'd turn out this way. I love you both, but with this mess, it's just driving me away.
And you
For background singers on this project, we decided to get the group called Venice. They came in and sang just wonderfully. They are as good as people say they are. We're really happy with what they've done on this project.
Why did our love get left behind? My melody, my sweet melody. You've been that song that
I got a phone call from Daniel. Told me about Jeff Pryor and said, this guy wants you to come out and play. And I was just so tickled to hear from Daniel. And I said, and he told me, he says, he's got great songs. And I said, that's all you have to say, let's go. I'd love to do it. And then he told me the lineup, and I went, oh man, what do I have to pay to be on these sessions? I had never met David Page, and I certainly had heard him and knew of him for a long time, and he turned out to be really great to work with. Simon, I wasn't really familiar with at all, and he was nothing but a treat. And Leland Sklar and I had worked together on Rita Coolidge albums and Christopherson albums. I think he was on a Billy Swan album. And
Baby, I wanna be your man. Yes, I do. Baby, come and take me by the hand.
Joey Bowen is a fantastic singer, and I heard him for the first time down at the party 2 summers ago at Jeff Pryor's house, and I was really impressed. So we decided to feature Joey Bowen on this Jeff Pryor band project as the main featured vocalist. He has really come through swell.
I wanna be your man. Baby, I'll take you to Lover Land. I wanna hold you tight and kiss you all night.
Jeff Pryor was writing songs with my younger brother Matthew back in the 80s. The Moore Brothers band, Matt and I had a band, and we would do a bunch of those songs. They were great songs. And about 3 years ago, Jeff and I started writing together, and we've written about 5 or 6 songs now, something like that. I'm real happy with the stuff I've written with Jeff. We've gotten some good songs written.
Take me to Lover Land.
Nice ending. That's it.
Doug Sax.
That is excellent.
Man, Doug Sax was just the best. One of the greatest mastering engineers. I did so many albums with Doug. So that's kind of the behind the scenes of making the record. And the reason records like that also just sounded good is because everybody was there. It wasn't you sitting in somebody's bedroom or garage overdubbing your part on Pro Tools or Logic or whatever the format. It was a bunch of people in the studio being creative. And we were having the most joyous time making that record. And then on that last day, September 11th, it just came crashing down on everybody emotionally. I mean, we finished the album, we got everything done that we had to do, but boy, it's like one of these things you're euphoric for days, and then all of a sudden you've just, your brain just melted, and it's incredible. And today's even a more of a double-edged sword, because today our new video with the immediate family, Slippin' and Slidin', has been debuted, and it's on Facebook now. And some other formats. I think it's probably on Twitter and Instagram. They've got links to it. But it's just weird. You know, you just feel kind of, there's a hollowness on days like this where there's been something like when I talked about that when Kennedy was shot. And, you know, you just, they are stamped indelibly on your soul as to where you were, what you felt like. When Martin Luther King died, when Bobby Kennedy died. I was at a political rally the night Bobby Kennedy was assassinated, and we were all in complete, total shock over that. And but I just wanted to share Jeff Pryor there, because that was really what was going on when that happened, and it was a really fun project to do. I love all those people that were involved on it. And it's fun for me just to see it again, because that part of the time was a great memory. So take good care. Take a moment, give thoughts to what this day really means to us historically, and to all of the families who have suffered so deeply through all of this. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to wish everybody a nice weekend if you don't make it back here. Tomorrow is actually going to be a long day. I'll see what I come up with tomorrow, because tomorrow is my Clubhouse one-on-ones, and that's I start at 8 in the morning, and I think I finish at 5 tomorrow night. It's straight through, so it's gonna be a long day. So I'll try to eke some time out to come visit here. But my best to everybody. Take good care of yourselves, and everybody that means everything to you. And I will see you then. Okay, bye-bye.